Hello, YouTube. This is Queen Violet 8, where it's good to be queen, coming at you with a video about my PlayStation 1 collection. The PlayStation 1 is what changed my life and turned me into what I would consider a real gamer. This system has given me so many good memories. Even though I got it late, I was happy to get it. I didn't get a PlayStation until 1996. And everyone knows it dropped in 1994. And, I had that one mother. You don't need no video game. You need clothes. You need shoes. Barbie. She was very girly about it. She didn't understand the enjoyment of video games or why anybody would want to play them. I mean, I had to beg to get a Sega Genesis, and that was my first real system. Bless her. But she was adamant about, you don't need a video game system. Okay. But I finally got that Genesis, and I was good. So when I saw what the PlayStation could do, was over at someone's house, and they were having a party, and they had one. And I was watching them play Battle Arena till Shindig. I was like, I want one of those. I want one of those. And I kept asking for one and never got it until 96. But before that, I got to play it the summer of 1995. My friend Will had come over with his father, and we were hanging out for that summer. And he had a PlayStation. And so he brought it to the house, and we hooked it up to my old 20-inch. I never forget it. 20-inch Panasonic TV. And we played the crap out of that. And one of these games that changed my life, that I learned about what RPGs were, was Final Fantasy VII. This game, this is not my original copy, unfortunately. When you're young, you do stupid stuff. I had traded off my original for some more games, but I rebought it. I'm not going to play it, but just for sentimental value. This game changed my life. And we played the crap out of that game enough that I had to get a strategy guide, as you see over here in the corner, from Versus magazine. And we played this game. And we got to disc 2. And so he was like, well, I'm going to let you keep, my PlayStation for a few days. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And so he didn't leave his memory card with me. So I had to go out and buy a memory card. And so I got a memory card, and I started playing Final Fantasy VII. And it completely blew my mind. I mean, the story was so, amazing to me back in the day. Now we have really vast stories and bigger worlds and more in-depth characters that actually talk and have, amazing, things now with the graphics. We've become spoiled, really. But this game completely changed my life. I started playing this game, and I got invested. These characters, it seemed like I was going on a journey with them. And I was riding shotgun, watching everything they did, trying to avenge our fallen comrade. When that death happened and they played that music, woo, I had tears in my eyes. I was so angry. After that, I steeled myself for revenge. I wanted revenge on Sephiroth. So I started leveling up. I had my guide. I had another one. I had the Brady guide as well. And I was leveling like crazy. I was getting every weapon I could get. I was doing that tower defense, trying to get that Super Ball for Yuffie. And I was working it. So I'm going through Final Fantasy. I'm playing it. And then, he comes back. He's like, I need my PlayStation. I'm like, what? I'm making it, I'm in disc 2 right now. I'm like, what? He's, yeah, I got to come get it. I was like, oh. So he had to come get his PlayStation and his game. And I had to let him have it. So I just kept my memory card with all my saves. I was like, one day I will finish that game. So I had to go back to playing my Sega. And I was like, okay, fine. So I was playing Sega, Super Nintendo. And I never forget it. That Christmas, I didn't think we'd get it. December 1996, we got a PlayStation. I screamed, I hollered, I was so excited. And the game that came with it was Tekken 2. And we played the crap out of Tekken. We loved it. I mean, I loved Street Fighter. I mean, that was my first fighting game. And I had a strategy guide and everything for that on the Sega Genesis. And you had to have that 6-button controller too. Because you sure couldn't play with the 3. But, man, changed my life. I was like, dog, incredible. So we had it, and we were playing it. And the first thing I did, as soon as I got the money, you're just a kid. You don't have any money. But 97, 1997, after we gotten it the next year, Christmas had passed, we got it in 96. So 97, the greatest hits version of Final Fantasy VII came out. And on a trip to the mall, I got it. I had the money to get it. So I picked it up from EB Games before they became GameStop. And I was overjoyed. I mean, you didn't just go to the mall every day like people do now. This was like a special occasion. You had to have an Easter dress or something like that. But I got there. I got my game. I picked this one up. And I was overjoyed. And I brought it home. And I got started again. And I was determined. So that summer of 1997, when I got my game, I played all summer. Just this one game. I was invested in those characters. They felt solid to me. And I was determined to finish this game and beat Sephiroth. As fine as he is, he still looks good with his very suave voice. It's amazing. But anyway, so I'm playing the game and I'm leveling up and I'm like level 98, 97. And I had just this one goal. When we get to the swamp area and this big basilisk, you're running through it. It'll get you if you're not on a chocobo, excuse me. And when you first get there, there's a scene where you see where he has stabbed this thing with a tree and killed it. I said, until I can one-shot, this was in my mind, I know. Until I can one-shot that thing, I'm not ready to face Sephiroth. So that's all I did. I leveled right there. I leveled. I got my gold Kokoboo, which is actually Cheese Whiz Yellow. And I stayed right there. And I leveled. And so finally everybody was like level 99, 98, 97. That was the lowest level I allowed, pretty much, was 97. And I think that was Cat Smith. That was 97. Or it might have been Yuffie. But anyway. So I was like, I'm ready to fight Sephiroth. I can finally avenge Aeris and all this. And it struck me. And this is when you know a game has got you. It struck me. I've got to finish this game. I don't want to finish this game. I was so into this world with these characters. I mean, I was getting up at 6 o'clock to play. I was pretty sly about it. Because my mother, she would have came in here. That thing got your mind. You can't even rest, I had to put clothes under the door so she wouldn't see the light of the TV. And so I was getting up 7 o'clock, playing. And so I made up my mind, what am I going to do now? I'm almost finished with this game. This game that I've spent so many hours on. I played this game till the clock ran out. That's how much I loved it. And I was like, I don't want to leave this world. These characters, they meant something to me. I know that sounds funny. But I knew I was going to have to finish it. I set it down for 2 weeks and I didn't touch it. That's how much I didn't want to finish it. I said, but I got to finish it. I got to go ahead and finish it. So I sat down and I finished it. And when it was over and the ending credits played and I turned off the system, I just went, wow. And suddenly there was a void. What am I going to do now? I'm not playing Final Fantasy VII anymore. And that let me know that, these characters had became staples in my life almost. It felt like I was, on the journey with them, if you could, understand that. But that's how much of an impact this game had on me. After that, I started snatching up RPGs like left and right as much as I could get at that time. But Final Fantasy, is the first true game that got me into gaming. This true RPG that changed my life. And I hope others, some people say, this is the first RPG we ever played. It was so hyped. I mean, you couldn't turn on MTV and not see that commercial of him going down the stairs on that bike and them showing the plants and everything and the Mako cannons. And you were like, wow, that's incredible. And, you're coming off a 32-bit system and you're like, I'm going to play that. But this game completely changed my life. And I'm so glad I played it and I beat it. And I love it. And I have not played the remake yet. And I'm debating whether I want to or not. Because I have so many good memories of this game. Of my father. I miss him. Giving me the money to buy games. I miss him to this day. He passed in 2010. And he was a cool guy. I mean, he owned a pool room. I won't go into that. I'm going to leave that alone. But It changed my life. I'm so glad that I played it. Straight off of Final Fantasy, I was like, okay, well, the Final Fantasy franchise is incredible. What am I going to play now? Final Fantasy VIII. I picked this up as soon as it got to be $20. You know, you're a broke kid. You ain't got no money. You know, you rolling pennies, begging pretty much for change. And I got this game and I started playing it. First thing, my first complaint. And of course I had my guide. My first complaint was that draw system. I hated that draw system. Everything looked incredibly modern. I love the gun blades and everything, but that draw system got on my nerves at first. I said, well, I'm in it now. I'm invested. So I started playing the game to beat Ultimacia and play Triple Triad. I love that. I wish somebody was playing that in real life. But I had every card, every character card for that game. And so I'm playing the game and I'm about ready to fight Ultimacia. I get up that morning. I'm going to beat Ultimacia, you know, and finish this game. And I had bought, and pissing me off to this day, I wish I hadn't wasted money, a generic memory card. My save file was gone. All those hours, 90-something hours, gone. I was so angry. I was so angry. And so I said, I can't go through this. I can't play those hours again. I just can't. So I never finished this game. But it's not a terrible game. After you get past that draw system, it's a great game. Another game I picked up, I got this at Circuit City. And this is Evil Zone. This is just my meager collection. Like I said, I didn't, you know, by the time I got my PlayStation, PS2 was right on its tail. This is Evil Zone. This is actually a fighting game. And pretty much it's done almost like a TV show. There are different episodes and stuff. There's a guy that looks like a Power Ranger. There's a schoolgirl that has like a ghost spirit. There's a tomboyish Ryu-like character girl. There's a monk that uses like, you know, chants and stuff. It's a really interesting fighting game. You don't fight with 6 buttons. You just fight with your 4 and your R2 and R1 buttons. But it's a really interesting game, and I like that opening theme song music. A lot of these games came from pawn shops. I traded many. And this is Wild Arms 2. I really like this game. The story was really good, you know. And, you know, the series of Wild Arms is really good. I like 3 better and 5 as well. But pick this up if you want to get started on Wild Arms. I think it's also downloadable on the PlayStation Store. I was a big X-Men fan. I absolutely adored X-Men, the animated series on Fox. I watched the crap out of it. When I heard there was a fighting game, I jumped all over it. This is X-Men Mutant Academy 2. This is a game I spent a lot of hours. I went to GameStop and picked this up. It was used. And this is Star Ocean, the second story. I absolutely adored this game. This was the first time I ever got to hear characters talk. Even though they were just catchphrases like, I deserve this. Or I forget the little boy's name that fought with a book. Knowledge is power. And it was really, really neat. Really enjoyed it. I like crafting more than anything. I was all into that, making those books and getting those royalties from them. I spent many hours just doing that. Lunar, Silver Star Story Complete. I picked this up at Sam's Club when they used to have them. I got lucky and got this for $25. Brand new. Got this at a flea market, or it might have been a yard sale. This is a collection of Activision classic games for the Atari 2600. Now, this game I picked up 2 years ago, and I didn't play it for the simple reason is because I heard about the remake, but I had intended to play it, and this is Chrono Cross. I look forward to getting a physical copy from PlayAsia for the Switch version, and I'm going to play it then. This is a game that I will never sell and never get rid of. This is also a game that my father bought me. This is Valkyrie Profile, and I absolutely adore this game. Every time she says, "Come to me, Dark Warriors, battle awaits us." It always got me invested in this game and in the story of how, Lilith came to be and how, Lazard, I hate him so much. The sorcerer messed up her life, but it's a wonderful game. Play it. I also picked it up for the PSP. I'll do a collection video on that later, But wonderful, wonderful game. I don't have many games because, like I said, I got in late. This is Vampirina D. This is a Gallico game. And I picked this up because I was a huge fan of Vampirina D. The only reason I know anime like I do now is because of Joe Bob's Brig, TNT, Friday Night Nitro. If y'all don't remember that, TNT would play movies about 11 or, so at night on a Friday. And one of these movies that I first saw was this one, Vampirina D. I got to watch Demon City Shinjuku as well. This guy had some awesome anime being played then. I mean, that's how I got into anime. This is based on the second movie, which I adore and had to buy the soundtrack for, Bloodlust. And if you're like me, you have read every novel. I'm still reading the new one, which I think is, I can't remember the name of it, but I'm reading the novel, the latest one, and I think The Gold Fiend is the next one coming out in September. But this is an action RPG. It's very slow, but, I wanted it because I was a big Vampirina D fan. But pick that up if you're a fan. I love my fighting games on the PlayStation. That controller was awesome, for fighting games back in the day. I never bought an arcade stick. I need to get one. But this is Capcom Versus SNK Pro. Picked this up at Walmart for $20 and loved it. All the Capcom games have awesome music. I actually got this one. I think it was also from Walmart, and this is the King of the Fighters 99. This is the first King of the Fighters game I ever played, and I'm a huge Kyo Kusanagi fan. I adore him. He was just cool to me, and I absolutely also adore my man Andy Bogart from Fatal Fury. X-Men Mutant Academy, the first one. It's also a fighting game. Jammer Lammy, excuse me. Leave It to Lammy. I bought this from Walmart as well, $20. It's a rhythm game, and you play, according to the rhythm. And my favorite dude is Chop Chop Master Onion. He comes in and raps, and I really liked him. And pretty much you have to keep up with him playing your guitar instead of rapping like Papa the Rapper. But this is a really cute game. I think it's downloadable on the network. I'm not sure. But it's still cheap. Some of these games are still really cheap. So if you want to play them, play them. And my last game is Mega Man Legends. I played this game. I had the original one. Well, not the original, but I bought this at a pawn shop. And I finished this game and absolutely adored it. My favorite character in here is Tron Bonne. And her little bonds, her little trons that go through those little robots. And I absolutely adored them. And the Bond Pirates were hilarious. But, this is another game where you got to hear voice acting when you weren't used to hearing anything. And that was awesome back in the day. I mean, nowadays, we're spoiled. We really are. We have, the Switch. We have the PS4, the PS5. We've got these movie-like graphics now. We have these bigger worlds, more realisticness that looks almost like you could reach out and touch these people. And, I mean, when somebody sweats, you can see it drip down their face. I mean, it's funny now. I'm going back to playing older games. Right now, I pulled out my PS2. I'll do a collection video on that later. But I am playing Suikoden 4 right now. And, I'm like level 7. And you level up every, 1,000, points you get. But I'm playing that right now. And I'm playing it on a CRT. I'm playing on my Sony Trinitron. And I'm enjoying it. I mean, this reminds me of that summer of 95 when all I had was a strategy guide and a game. And I loved it. And I had good memories of those days. And, just, play those older games. They're incredible. If you can get past the graphics, if you're not too spoiled. And just enjoy them. They still have plenty to offer. They may have wonky controls or things like that, but that was just part of their charm. They were building up then to have even better games for us now. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you will play some of these games, or at least get to experience some of them, because, there are amazing stories to still be told, And some of these games are only physical only. And I hope you can get to play them. Stay safe out there. Later days.